XDC holders, you're probably going to want to stick around until the end of this video, and no, that's not me selling you on no, nonsense or anything like that. We are going to be going over a ton of information that is extremely important to XDC, and this is also going to prove just how big XDC will be this cycle. So with that being said, welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. If we take a quick look at this section on the xdc.org website, under solutions, this is their real world asset tokenization and solutions. I strongly encourage everyone to join the free Discord. There's going to be a link at the top of the description below. This is one of the most valuable and informative Discords out there, and it's completely free. There's a free side that has a ton of free crypto gems, free market strategies, guides, market trends, free charts, and there's also going to be new cheat sheets dropped in this Discord. And already we have a ton of testimonials from members of the Discord that have been absolutely loving it. So what are you waiting for? Go and click the link at the top of the description below and join the free Discord. So as we look at this, there's a clear insight that yes, XDC will play a very big role in the tokenization of US treasuries, trade finance, real estate, or pretty much anything. And I think that this is where a lot of people are kind of overlooking XDC. They don't think that it has any RWA tokenization tied to it, even though it is probably one of the most lucrative networks out there, considering the fact that as we look at trade finance actually stands to really improve greatly through tokenization. And we've talked about this, right? Liquidity will increase around trade finance. The access to capital around trade finance will also increase, and this is all through tokenization. But we have US tokenized treasuries. This is with USTY, right? This is actually secured by a BlackRock managed US Treasury ETF, and this is with XDC. Again, a lot of people don't actually know about this. Direct exposure even with BlackRock. Now, outside of that, we also have down here tokenized private credit. Tokenization of private loans to businesses has been around since late 2020 and has seen some fluctuations in active loan values, rising to as high as 1.5 billion in June of 2022. This continues to still be a big focus from my point of view. I've talked about True. I've talked about Maple as well. Two great projects around that space. Then we also have RWA.xyz, a serious analytical tool. They just really kind of talk about this. They address, some of the, back end things around it and the solutions with it. But beyond that, down here, if we actually look at some of the big moves happening around XDC, these are some of the articles published around XDC and the tokenization happening within the XDC ecosystem. But outside of this, the reason why I'm bringing this back up and the reason why I want to actually talk about tokenization on the XDC network is because of this recent post by Binance Research back in the end of June. And if we actually look at this, right, they talk about DeFi, they talk about the infrastructure, they talk about NFTs, all that kind of great stuff. And then we have down here RWAs. Real world assets is an emerging sector with growing interest in on-chain exposure to stable real world yields. Asset tokenization has garnered significant attention from traditional financial institutions, highlighting its potential in the financial landscape. Now, if we actually look at this, right, there's some great projects that they are listing here, but under trade finance, where's XDC? Where is XDC? Is XDC just being hidden here? Sean of the Woke from XDC actually put out a post regarding this on the 20th. And we have, when you let Binance Research do your own research on things they know nothing about, RWA is too important of an asset class. This is one of the reasons why exchanges are yet to be taken seriously by true investors and regulators. And if we actually look at this, right, we could see some of the breakdowns, right? We have number one, Andre Kasserman of the TFDI speaking about Investor Day on October 19th, 2023, 1 month after the Electronic Trade Documents Act 2023 is enacted. XDC is a platinum sponsor for the show, and this is from Mr. Man XRP. Then on the right side, we have XDC Trade Network had the pleasure of presenting at the United Nations office at the Paperless Trade Week 2024 event. And also, all over the region received their solution very well. We now have invitations to participate in pilots from various countries. This got posted back in the beginning of June, actually. And then, of course, we have all of the big players tied to the XDC network from the trade finance space, as well as even the RWA sector. And then when we look at trade finance, XDC is missing. What the hell is going on here? Like, what's going on? And I always question why XDC is so hard to get, right? XDC is one of the hardest investments for US investors to actually buy. And now we see XDC basically being hidden on these lists. It's getting overlooked. It's barely, mentioned at all. Like, what is going on here? But also, we have from XDC Foundation, this tweet covers many key players within our ecosystem but fails to recognize XDC. XDC is the only public network with a bridge to inside R3's Corda. XDC is the only native layer 1 crypto coin to settle a transaction on Corda in POC run by SBI, R3's largest shareholder. XDC network is one of 4 networks integrated into Securitize, which also rightfully makes the list. We fit under the category of RWA Rails as a blockchain hosting access to a BlackRock managed US Treasury fund through the token USTY, which was issued on and tokenized by Securitize. Regarding commodities, XDC also hosts tokenized gold in the form of CGO, which is highlighted by RWA.xyz. Also, XDC is the most obvious choice to fit under the category of trade finance. I could not agree more. XDC Network was the first and only blockchain invited to join the Trade Finance Distribution Initiative, a consortium of the world's leading banks and non-bank financial institutions established to bridge the $5 trillion trade finance gap. It was also invited to join the ITFA Worldwide Digital Negotiable Instruments Initiative, which is the DNI. Trade Tech, a leader in trade finance, developed USTY, also listed on RWA XYZ. SBI VC official entered into a joint venture with TradeFinix to expand XDC network use cases in global economic activities, particularly in trade finance. Trade Trust, a platform developed by the IMDA in Singapore, also leverages the XDC network to bring advanced document authentication through a framework that complies with the model law on electronic transferable records, or MLETRs, you guys are probably all aware of, to enhance the security, transparency, and efficiency of cross-border transactions. No other public layer 1 network is doing more with trade finance than XDC network. Both CoinDesk and Blockworks are covering the impact of blockchain on trade finance and are speaking with experts within the XDC ecosystem on the subject. In a CoinDesk article focused on the tokenization boom, we actually see, trade finance being the last frontier in finance. And I would argue that, as we really look at trade finance, it is going to be probably one of the first industries really revolutionized by this technology. And we also think that the market alone is worth over $1 trillion and has stated that the XDC network is our chosen blockchain on which to develop. So as we look at this, right, it is unacceptable that XDC is being held off of these lists. It is in plain sight, and I do question why, right? Like, why is XDC being held off of these lists? Why is XDC so hidden? Why is XDC so hard to get? And also, we have over here from your boy Quincy, who's an XDC Foundation lead Solidity developer. XDC doesn't get enough credit. We must fight tooth and nail to be acknowledged, even if we are leading the charge in different areas of blockchain. We continue to tokenize, build, and fight. And yeah, I do think that XDC is XDC is hidden on purpose. I feel as though the projects in the space that are the largest threats, I feel as though they get thrown shade. Maybe I'm just speculating on this. Maybe I'm just kind of wearing the tinfoil hat. But a lot of these altcoins in this space that have so much utility and they're absolutely killing the game, they get overlooked. They kind of get tossed to the side. And I question why. When we go and look at meme coins, right? How many of these big exchanges, Binance, Coinbase, and so many others were listing meme coin after meme coin after meme coin? We look at XDC, you can barely get XDC on half of these exchanges. It just goes to show you that the focus right now in this space is ridiculous. But also over here from Securitize, we're proud to support XDC in tokenizing USTY. And yeah, as we take a look at USTY, okay, this is where things get very interesting. Okay, So Trade Tech was the first one to really kind of roll this out. We have tokenized US Treasuries arrive to XDC network as digital bond market grows. Now, this is with Trade Tech, right? They're rolling out tokenized treasuries on the XDC network. And this is all through Securitize as well. We have tokenization service provider Securitize onboards buyers, tracks share ownership, and manages dividend payouts. They are the ones behind this as well. And what's crazier about all of this is if we actually go over here to Trade Tech, or Yield Tech, sorry, we could see that USTY, US Treasury tokens with the XDC contract. We could see fund manager, BlackRock Asset Management, administrator, State Street Fund Services. What's crazier about all of this, right, is the fact that BlackRock invested into Securitize, right? 47 million strategic funding round led by BlackRock back on May 1st. But what's even funnier is State Street just recently announced that they are eyeing blockchain Leap with stablecoin and deposit token. They're looking at tokenization in a very large way. This just happened on July 17th. Again, 2 players that are tied back to Yield Tech with this tokenized US Treasury token. Pretty crazy to say the least. But also, over here, BlackRock launches its first tokenized fund build on the Ethereum network March 20th. Remember, right, if we actually look at this, this is the latest progression of our digital asset strategy. We are focused on developing solutions in the digital asset space that help solve real-world problems for our clients, and we are excited to work with Securitize. And what's funny about this is, as we really look at all of the names tied to Securitize, these are the available blockchains. Now, as we look at this, Algorand definitely needs to be mentioned, but XDC also needs to be mentioned in a big way. These are 2 of the most efficient blockchains on this list to tokenize on. When we take a look at Ethereum, I don't even mention it. Avalanche, again, it's costly. Polygon, sure, you can mention it, but XDC and Algorand do have exposure here. XDC definitely needs to be focused on because it is so overlooked. It's almost forgotten in the space, and it has these types of connections. Now, also the board of directors behind Securitize, guys, managing director at BlackRock. We also have a few other players here as well. Some very large names like Morgan Stanley, for an example. Advisory board, SEC, JP Morgan, Barclays, Google, Twitter, IBM, BBVA. I mean, the list just goes on here. And it's pretty wild, but as we look at what's going on, some of these big companies like Securitize are being handpicked by the largest players out there, like BlackRock, for an example. And even as we look at XDC, yeah, although this is just an ETF overview and the fund manager is BlackRock, does this mean that BlackRock is aware of what XDC is doing? Probably not, but still, it's exposure. And even State Street being the administrator on this, with what State Street is announcing, it's only a matter of time until they are aware of XDC and Algorand and all of these other networks, which could very well lead to, exposure. So the big thing to focus on with all of this is just how big XDC actually is in the RWA space, yet it is hidden on these lists. It's almost like a strategic thing to kind of keep XDC off these lists, and I do question why. Like, what's really going on here? And to me, I just find it crazy. It's unacceptable, definitely, but I find it crazy how hidden XDC is. I mean, do I think about it as a good thing? Technically, yes, because it allows us to accumulate as much as possible, but I feel as though XDC definitely deserves a lot more attention than it gets. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, so notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.